Bam, how nice is it to have yet another game where you guys are holding your opponent under 100? It's the 11th time you guys have done it this season, consecutive games. You've won all of those games.
We need to keep doing it. That's the formula, apparently. So, holding teams under 100, it's hard to do in this league. But like you said, we've done it 11 times, so I think we can do it more and just keep stacking wins from it.
You guys like games in the mud, but this one got deep in it, particularly that second quarter. What did you guys have to do to maintain and then emerge from it, even though you were going to get a push at some point, as you did from the Jazz?
Even though we was missing shots, still being able to get stops. That's the biggest thing Spo has been emphasizing. Even if we miss shots, still being able to get stops, and that's how we'll gain our momentum on offense.
They have a lot of size, obviously, but you always read the game well. Was there something you thought of as far as how you wanted to approach and challenge Kessler offensively? Because it worked in the second half with jumpers where you had some space between them.
Just mixing up the menu. Come in at halftime, see how they're playing me, and then make the adjustment second half.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Spo talks all the time about stacking good days together. You stacked a few now on the floor. How nice does it feel getting this role and answering the bell as you had over these last few games?
It's great, man. I got a lot of people that trusted me, from coaches to teammates, giving me confidence every single day. Just when I knew my name was called and opportunity arose to, really go out there and, try to make an impact, I was going to be ready. So.
Well, we know that that head's going to go down, that hair's going to go flying, you're going to get downhill. That you're also taking opportunities, though, to set up for other people as well. How are you balancing that in the decision-making of how you attack and how you use your attack to get other people?
I mean, it's great, man. You got so many guys that on this team that occupy the defense and get their attention. So when I drive in the paint and I draw two, it makes it really easy to spray out to shooters. Like you got Tyler, Terry running off screens, and just try to get those guys involved as best I can because now teams are obviously scouting for Tyler and starting to do things like trap and all that. So just to try to get him some easy buckets. It's kind of been one of my goals, coming in here. So
it's hard to hold any NBA team under 100. I've done it consecutive times and on the road 11 times this year. They're all wins. So I guess that just cosigns exactly who this team wants to be. And in those minutes, getting the reward of the victory.
For sure. We want to get teams in the mud, play our game, get stops, start on the defensive end. So as long as we do those things, we're going to be just fine.
So many times we hear a player who will say after a rough moment, I want to be back in that situation again. You go to the foul line for the 2 free throws, obviously, after what happened in Sacramento. How good did it feel to get to that moment, to come through, and to sort of move forward?
It's great, man. I haven't been sleeping really well on those 2 free throws. It's been keeping me up. So I think tonight I'm going to get a good night's rest knowing that we sealed this victory off those 2 free throws. Get my redemption back and then, just try to continue this streak that we got going and keep expanding.
Tyler, what was the key of kind of like emerging out of what was a real kind of murky second quarter, and even though they made a little push, but holding on and grabbing this victory?
I think, just the way we stuck together. There was ups and downs throughout the first half. We weren't making shots. They were kind of breaking us down a little bit on defense to start, and then we got into it a little bit, picked up our aggressiveness on defense, got more disruptive, started to turn a little bit of our defense into offense, and then a lot of back and forth on runs and different skirmishes throughout the game. But I thought we handled those well. We answered a lot of the runs and ended up coming away with the win.
2 games with the same team, five days apart. One game you lose by 36, this one you pull out by 5. What's the difference?
I think our energy, collective spirit, how we came out tonight was completely different than how we came out in Miami, in Utah, or against Utah. So I mean, like I said, just how we, weather different runs. I thought like that's who we are. That's our identity. We can win games in the mud, or we can win high-scoring games. But our identity is really on the defensive end, and just being a gritty team that answers, whatever run we need to answer.
And what's encouraged you about Jaquez specifically, just playing with him, Tyler, this week? He's been terrific.
Yeah, he has been really, really good, really efficient, looking like a little rookie Jaime a little bit. but he's doing his thing. You know that we know what he's capable of. We know who Jaime is. He likes to play a little bit more free with the ball in his hands and with the roster we have right now at this time. That's what he's doing right now. He's playing with the ball in his hands, he's making the right play, and he's attacking for himself, all while playing efficient. So he's doing what he does.
The other day you spoke about the breakthrough against the Warriors, especially after the tough night in Sacramento. I'm wondering, is this game a breakthrough sort of into itself, of sort of a slog, being right there, clutch time again, and finding a way with maybe even different players with what Jaime did?
Well, it was definitely a sign of mental stability and some improvement in that department because that game was pretty ugly for us offensively, but we competed defensively, and I think it's important for our team to understand that you can get games in the mud, and then we have a bunch of guys, that love those fourth quarter moments, and then you just make it a possession game, and guys have that opportunity to make those kind of plays, going down the stretch. Jaime was really good, obviously, put the ball in his hands, made a nice pass to Bam, conceivably drew a foul, hit a big three, but, he was very poised in those possessions. So I think it was good. I think coaches always like these kind of wins where it's ugly, it's not a shootout, and you have to do it with a modicum of grit.
Any team is going to be challenged by Utah's size, but how do you like how Bam read the game, created space in the second half against Kessler and others?
Yeah, I thought he did really well. He's just been such a rock, for our team. While we've been doing a bunch of different things, he's just been so steady all year, just in terms of his leadership and the same approach every single day. Not many players can do that. Like if you're missing shots or going through a stretch where it's not totally smooth, but he still checks all the other boxes: the leadership, encouraging guys, coaching guys, and then being there when we really need him. He made some big plays down the stretch, and it's just a matter of time. Yeah, I'm not stressed out about that. He's been great in a lot of other areas, but certainly, to see him, make some good reads and knock down that go-to, shot at the dots, that he's been so good at over the years.
How big were Tyler's 2 threes just to turn the game in the fourth and at least regain some momentum?
Yeah, and it gave us, that little bit of that relief, we felt, because it was such a, as you would say, a slog. Yeah, that, we couldn't get anything like, clean, so he just stepped out a little bit further. And he has that ability. Some of the great, shooters in this game, like Curry and Lillard and now Tyler, they just do what is necessary. Sometimes it's, getting to the rim. Sometimes it's the catch and shoot three, but sometimes you just have to make the court a little bit bigger because of their size, and he was able to do that.
Can you explain?
Because of all the really good things that Jaime has done this week, what jumps out to you the most is things that most please you over this week?
Has really contributed to wins. Yeah, well, that's what defines him. He's doing it on both ends. He was very good defensively tonight.
On a coach's challenge, if the referee places the ball into the free throw shooter's
Don't
hands,
get me started on that. What are you setting me up for?
I just want to know the rules, and I know you're very
I know
good
what
with
they
the
talked
rules.
about in the coaches' meetings at the beginning of the year, that you're not allowed to do the shenanigans and delay the game and stand in the middle of the paint, tie your shoe, all of these things that, if they tell us not to do that, the Miami Heat, we don't do that. We go stand on the line. Maybe we should start working on some of the trickery. But Brandon did a couple pump fakes, and that gave them just enough time to challenge.
And then one other thing about challenges, just because it's weird this year, you had one also in Orlando where you won a challenge and then you wound up with a foul. Today they win a challenge and you wind up with a basket. Do you think that intent works in the rule that they are looking back and looking forward? And how does that make it tougher to challenge when you can win and lose?
I don't know. I'm actually not prepared to answer that. Yeah, right now.
You talked a little bit about Bam's leadership and
So we talked about how he's done that this year. What are the changes you've seen in him, or the growth you've seen in him over the time you've had him? I know, obviously, even this summer when you were with him.
Well, over the years, I would say the biggest growth is just utilizing his voice now more. You know, he is, as I said, you know, one of those caretakers, you know, of the culture now, and to be able to have that kind of stability, you know, when he's an all-star, an Olympian, and you know, not playing to how he wants to play, and to still be able to do all of that, and still be so consistent with his approach, his attitude, his mentality every day. It's a winning mentality, and so few guys in this league, I think, can do that unless they're really playing well offensively. You know, that's what you love about him so much, because when we draft him, he was all about winning, and now with all the accolades, all the contracts and everything, he's still about winning.
Does he have the ability to, like, when things are going sideways in a game, to just kind of settle everybody down?
I believe so, because you just have a great confidence that he'll make an important play, and that could be anything, you know, offensively. Tonight he hit some baskets. He made a great screen. He, you know, one way or another, we're going to do something with him involved offensively going down the stretch as a screener, flash guy, you know, dribble handoff guy in the post, something, or the ball comes back to him. But then defensively, you have great confidence that you can get stops when you know he's back there. You know, he can play every single coverage that we have, and we have quite a few, and he does them all at an elite level. That makes everybody else feel super confident. All right.
Thank you.